Welcome to Beyond the Chutes is presented by ParaSight Systems. I'm your host, Doug Simcox, and I'm sitting here with my co-host, Mr. Sam Swearingen. Of course, Sam is a two-time IFR Saddle Bronc average winner. And today, Sam, we are going to talk a little bit about the average, because after 2 rounds of this IFR 54, it's time to start to introduce that conversation. Of course, we are recording here today in Guthrie, Oklahoma. We're at the Hilton Gardens. Oh, Hilton Gardens. And it's cold outside, Sam.
Yes, everybody says, oh, you're used to it. Well, you don't get used to it, you deal with it,
Right.
It's no fun. Doesn't matter if you're in Buffalo, New York, or Oklahoma. It's cold.
It's cold. It's time for it to stop. We need, if it was not terribly warm, maybe 60, 70 right now.
Yeah, we wouldn't ask for much. That'd be okay.
That'd be all right. We'd wear sweaters.
As long as it was sunny.
Yeah. Yeah. So today, Sam and I are good as long as it's sunny. No snow flurries and that sort of thing. So today, Sam and I are going to be wrapping up round number 2, the Friday night round, and just general takeaways, Sam. What'd you think?
I thought it's been a good final so far. The timed events, of course, the barrel racing kind of stands out. It's been phenomenal. Yeah, I know, Doug. I rub it in. The livestock's been good.
Yeah.
And the contestants have been good. So it's been a good week.
Yeah. And I tell you what, we sat up there last night, had a table. We had my laptop. We were scoring as we watched it. It was so nice and comfortable. And thank goodness we have those media passes, because they're working out, dude.
I'll tell you how comfortable it was. It was so comfortable when the earthquake hit, Doug didn't even know it hit.
I didn't even know it hit.
I was looking around saying, what the heck is happening? Is there a horse rubbing on a post down underneath? Because, no, I felt it. Nobody else got nervous, so it's just like, okay, I'll sit back. Must be an everyday occurrence.
Part of the deal. And they said early this morning again.
Yeah, at 5:37, there was one here that hit the hotel.
Really?
Right. Yeah.
Did you hear it?
You didn't feel it?
I didn't. I was sleeping.
Yeah, that's twice, folks. He can sleep through earthquakes.
Yeah. Well, I've got a big old subwoofer in my car. One of those thump ones. So, I just thought maybe, somebody turned the bass up.
Somebody started the car?
Yeah, maybe. Hey, let's get on with the show, shall we?
Let's go.
We got some updates from some of the Rawhide Rodeo crew. Give it to us, Sam.
Well, Dalen just got to watch it. He's in Chicago at a PBR, and he won the first round. So
88 and a quarter.
88 and a quarter.
Yeah.
And, made a nice ride. Really took care of business. Made a really good bull ride. So good luck tonight, Dalen. And Chicago was the first one you win, and hopefully you'll win it again.
Sounds like he had some problems getting there. He had to borrow gear, it sounded like, when he got there?
I don't know. I don't know what he did, but he did, when they interviewed him afterwards, he said, well, maybe it was a good thing that I had flights delayed and canceled and, didn't have to think about nothing but getting there.
Yeah.
And Dad wasn't there to save him this time. Last 2 times I saved him, but he was on his own this time.
Yeah. You weren't going to go pick him up like you have in the past.
Well,
yeah.
I ain't saying I wouldn't do it if you didn't ask me, but he's getting resourceful.
There you go. And who else you got, Sam, on the Rawhide crew?
Well, Colton.
Yeah.
He's out on the road. I don't know where he's at. He's bouncing from here to there and the other one, but I think Denver is his next stop. I think he did okay in Odessa, and I'm not sure about the qualifier for Fort Worth, but he is he's doing well.
Yeah.
He's doing very well, I think, and it's all about getting out of the barrier and drawing the right steer.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's so many guys that are good, and hopefully he'll get right in the mix and make the Fort Worth Rodeo, and I'll get to go down and see him.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm just thinking, as you said, Dalen and Colton, for our listeners, of course, that's Dalen and Colton Swearingen, your kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just take it for granted.
I know.
Everybody knows. It's your
Everybody
kids.
knows. Yeah.
Who the hell don't know my kids?
Yeah.
Everybody loves their kids. And
Absolutely.
They think everybody knows everything about them, and I took it for granted. Sorry about that.
Well, it's kind of like share or something like that, meaning one name, Is Colton Brandon himself out there? Just Colton?
I hope not. He's not using the fire irons like Jeremy and the rest of the boys did. I don't see him want to get branded.
No, I didn't mean branded like that. Oh, my. What episode did we do that in? Oh, my goodness.
That's a while ago.
That's a while ago. I think that was early in the spring. You want to hear the Brandon story? What?
Yeah.
What?
One of the Bronc riders here is branded.
Who's that?
Timothy Troyer.
He was in that deal?
He was in on it, and on that one, he wasn't in on the little coat hanger branding that they did.
Yeah.
They did a real brand.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Every time I think of that story, it's a good story.
Well, it's a story, but
to watch from the outside.
It's good, guys.
Yeah.
Kind of stupid.
Yeah. And then who else you got? Who else is on the crew?
Oh, Raymond. Raymond is at the circuit finals right now for the First Frontier. And he won the first round and got bucked off on his second head.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. We were in the middle of a podcast, and Raymond never calls. He's like all the kids. They don't call till they need something. He called 3 times, and he had a horse that was really hard to get out on. It really reared out of there, and I told him what I would do, but I said, you ride different from what I did at that time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to mess you up. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. But,
right.
He said he got him marked out and win a couple jumps, and then just got his chin and bucked him off. Well, this is just I wasn't there to see it, but I imagine he marked him out, and he thought that would be the hardest part of the ride.
Yeah.
And said, "Oh, shoo."
Yeah.
Oh, wham! He didn't do it till 10.
Right.
That's just a theory.
Yeah.
And of course, Eli is here.
Yes.
And I'll get a hold of Eli.
Eli Hirschberger.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's riding here this weekend.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Good. All right. Well, back to our schedule here, the IFR schedule. We've been busy. Today, they had the Contract Act Showcase. We had some interviews. We were recording. Sam didn't get down there, but Riley Jane Mintier, who stopped by yesterday, we got to catch up with her. I mean, just to talk to her. I may not even ask how she did. She's just a hoot to talk to.
Well, you old wrinkle-up guy, she was hilarious. And it was good fun.
Yeah,
good fun.
Absolutely. Tonight, the third of 4 performance, is going to be at 7:30, and then tomorrow. On Sunday, they have the OG&E Kids Day. That starts at noon. And then back for the final round. And the crowning of the champions tomorrow afternoon, Performance 5 at 2 o'clock. And we've been to the Buckle Award ceremonies after each performance, Sam, and been able to connect with some folks. And we're going to talk to some of those folks today.
Yeah, it's been really a pleasure to see them get their buckles and the stock get its due that they deserve, and everybody's been gracious that we asked to come on the show and have done it.
Yeah. All right, and major sponsors here for the IFR 54: Wrangler, Loves, and Ram. OG&E and Montana Silversmiths in the buckles this year, those go-round buckles. For our listeners, go-round buckles, that means you won that night's performance. So let's say for the bareback bronc riding, we're going to get into that in just a moment. Not only does the cowboy in the bareback bronc riding get a buckle for being high score, but the contractor or the horse that he rode, the stock contractor, actually gets a buckle as well. And Sam, how many of those go-round buckles do you have for your broncs and your bulls?
Well, I've done fairly well. Not enough.
Right.
You always want more.
You always want more, yeah.
But I'm really not positive. I would probably say around 10.
Around 10. Okay. All right. And the money, the big money, it's been paying out. We're going to see it. We're going to see it as we talk about our each of our events today. Just a reminder, if you win out, Sam, meaning you win all 4 rounds, which by default you win the average, you are going to get a check for $22,222.21.
Why not 22 cents? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Isn't that nice that they can come in here and ride for that kind of money, and we hope it only gets bigger as the years go on.
Absolutely. And I'm guessing the 21 cents is so as opposed to 22. So you and I talk about it every time we bring it up.
Must be.
I think so. So a nice little hook there. And of course, in our bull riding, we had in that first go round, we had one cowboy get all the money. But which was what, $9,200 or something for the go round. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Let's go to the first of our rough stock riding events, the bareback bronc riding. Last night, Oklahoma Cowboy Lane Elson Peter comes in and rides with an 82 3/4 points, places him first in that round. He picks up $3,700, and that places him, Sam, in the average with 2 rounds to go. The aggregate, if you will, places him third.
And he has a good shot to move up. Made a really nice ride last night, and is nice horse, really nice horse, and he did his job, and now he's moving on to see what the next 2 go-rounds do for that aggregate.
Yeah.
For where the larger money is.
Yeah, larger money. Let's describe what the aggregate is. How do you put that together, Sam? One of the ways I don't know why in rodeo it's always been called the average, but it is the aggregate. So if I'm on 4 head and I'm 80 points apiece, my average is 320. Did I do the math right there? 4 times 80, 3.
I don't know. You're accounting and you haven't got it right.
No, I always had a calculator.
Oh,
okay. 320 would be your cumulative points.
Okay.
And let's say you did 4 at, and I'm not going to give the answer, 4 at 81, you have 324. So you would be ahead of me in the average or the aggregate on 4 head.
Yes, as long as you get used to that, me being ahead of you,
well,
we're good.
Yeah. and the average, so if you're sitting in third place like Lane is, there's 30. If he holds that third place average, got to ride 2 more broncs still, 2 more barebacks still, he's going to pick up $3,700.
And he would like to move up from that.
Yeah.
Third place.
Absolutely. And, we look at 2 things. Number one, the average, but we also look at where they started this finals. He started number 7, and he has moved up to 6th. So he has picked up one position in the world standings, Sam. So, yes, let's keep him rolling.
Yeah. Yep. He'll move on, and it all depends on what you draw at this point. Hopefully he gets the right horses to keep chugging away at that average money.
You bet. And the Cowboy that came in second, Kansas Cowboy Quinton Lunsford. He placed second last night in the round, 81 3/4. And in the first round, he won that round. So that puts him first in the average. He's sitting at 165 on 2 head right now. And he has picked up $6,500 so far in the first 2 rounds, Sam. And if he remains at number 1, there's another $7,400 in the average.
Well, you could only do 1 spot better. And he was first one day and second the other. You can only go one spot better. So he is sitting very well for the aggregate.
And anything stand out on his ride last night for you?
How much control he had.
Okay.
Just had a lot of control.
Yeah. All right. Tanner Phipps, of course, he came in here number 1. He's remained in the number 1 position. He placed second in the first round, 82 points. 80.5 last night put him third in the round, which puts him second in the average. He's won about $4,600 so far. Another $5,500 available if he hangs in that number 2 spot.
Yeah, Tanner, he had a re-ride last night. His first horse didn't perform like it was supposed to, and that's livestock, Sometimes you never know what's going to happen. But Tanner is going to have to be reckoned with in that average because he will not make a mistake. He'll be solid if he gets the right horses. You'll have to watch out for him, but he doesn't mess up too often.
You bet. And the next cowboy, Joshua Krager, comes in here number 2 in the points race. He has 4 world championships already with the IPRA, and he was quiet. He's been quiet so far. He was 74 points for no money in the first round, but last night 77 1/4. He placed 4th, picked up about $1,000 there. And is hanging around that number 5 spot. Now, the number 5 spot doesn't pay any money in the average. You got to be in the top 4.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the crying hole when it comes to money.
What's it called?
No.
What's it called?
The crying hole.
Crying hole.
Yeah,
hole.
One place out of getting money or getting to where you want to be. So
okay.
But Josh, I've known Josh a long time. And it'll take a special horse to make him mess up.
Yeah.
He doesn't mess up too often.
Okay. Next cowboy, final cowboy that we're going to talk about. He wasn't in the money last night, but we've kind of got him on our radar. Blaine Houston, of course. McBain, Michigan. 77 points in the first round, 74 points in the second round. Hanging in at number 6 in the average. Again, no money, but he's hanging there. What do you think of his performance so far, Sam?
I thought last night he made a good ride on a good horse, and he was less points than he was the first night. So I thought he could have been a couple more, but that's personal opinion. He's doing his job. He's riding his horses. He did mess that horse right up at the end a little bit. And, somebody called me today and said, well, what happened? Why were the scores as low? Mm-hmm. I said they really docked them if you messed up.
Yeah. And shifting to the saddle bronc riding, the 3-time world champion Kody Rinehart come to play. We saw him win last night's round with 82 3/4 points. Picked up 3,700 last night. What'd you think, Sam?
He made a nice ride. Just did his basics. He rode the horse for what he had and got the most out of him. Really had his toes out, getting a hold with his feet and making an outstanding spur ride.
Absolutely. And that puts him number 1 in the average right now. 2 rounds down, right? 2 rounds completed. But he's sitting at 158 points. He's about 4 points ahead right now in the aggregate over Timothy Troyer. So 7,400 there. He came in the number 4 position. He's hanging in the number 4 position. He right now, if the rodeo would stop, and not even talk averages, he's $2,700, Sam, out away from number 1 position in that fourth place in the rankings.
Yeah, it's going to be a horse race with them. 3 guys are right there all together. It'll be a horse race at the end, and probably the aggregate will decide the champion of the IPRA.
Yeah. And would we have it any other way?
I hope not.
Well, unless you're Bolton Hudson, and he's got, like $200 million lead at this point.
Yeah, and that's
maybe not that much.
That's what makes it exciting is to see who wins on Sunday.
You bet. And then the Troyer boys come to town. Cookeville, Tennessee cowboy Rudy Troyer. He was second in the round with 77.5 points, picked up $2,700. Sam, he's sitting in 3rd place in that average. What'd you think of his ride?
That young man's impressed me. I first seen him up at St. Tite, Quebec this year, and he won that, and he just kept knocking away at him. His older brother, Tim, came and worked with me for a while, so I knew he had the natural ability, but now I got to see it firsthand.
Well, and speaking of Tim, right, come to help you. He's now in Weatherford, Oklahoma. He was 77.25 points last night, placed third in the round, about $1,900 he picked up. He is setting second in the average with 154 points.
Yeah, so if Tim's out in Weatherford, he must be working with the Etbauers at the school.
Oh, okay.
Or had
Okay.
been and decided to stay out there. But I knew he was going to go to school out there, so hopefully he's still there and or graduated and moving on.
There you go. There you go. And then last night, Kody Gortson, number 2 Bronc rider coming in. He placed last night, picked up a 4th place check, I believe. And we're going to be watching him as the evening goes on, or as the weekend goes on, I should say. Someone to watch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he's just keeping his hat in the ring.
Yeah.
You know, he's not winning everything, but he's staying on, and he's keeping his hat in there to try to get that title.
Yeah, yeah. And finally, we're going to talk about Joe Farron. Now, wins the first round. We had him on the show yesterday and really enjoyed that conversation with Joe.
Yeah, Joe's a very polite young man that is working very hard at his craft, and it's paying off.
Absolutely. And did all right last night. Got another score, 69.75, if you remember, Sam. And no money, didn't pick up any money, but that places him third in the average. So just riding solid. And that average pays, as we said, for number 3 hole, pays $3,700.
Yeah, this will be very interesting to watch to the end because nobody's out of it. Within the top 4 guys.
Yeah,
and I think it'll. Yeah, it's the drawing contest now and a riding contest, and you got to do both. And good luck to you, man.
Absolutely. And, you know, speaking of stopping by, we had Kody Rinehart come by. You notice I didn't ask you what you thought of his ride because we're going to interview him and we're going to find out from it.
Yeah, he'll tell us personally what he thought of it.
And we've got joining us this morning Mr. Kody Rinehart. We saw him last night, made a heck of a ride, 82.75 points, wins the round. By my calculations, he's about $2,700 out of first place at this point, not counting the average. And, oh, by the way, he's first place in the average. So, Kody, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing good.
Good to see you. How are you feeling this morning?
Feeling good. You know, a little sore. I haven't been on a bunch of horses here lately. I went to 2 rodeos in Florida after the circuit finals in November, and then before coming here, I've only been on 2 horses. So,
oh, really?
I was a little cold, a little nervous about getting on, but you know, I got on that first round and got on a good one. You know, he had some lead changes on me, but got things figured back out and tapping off.
Yeah, in that first round, you were 76 points, gotten the money there, 4th
Yes, sir.
place. I calculate you've got about $4,600 won already, not counting the average. And if you hang tough in that average, that's about $7,400.
Yeah. They've really upped the money this year, and I am very thankful for that. And it's good to see that. It's good to see the IPRA going in that direction as well.
Yeah, you bet. So tell us about your ride last night. Had you been on the Bronc before?
No, I actually have seen that horse a few times. I remember watching him back in, it'd be 2021 here at the IFR, and then I hadn't paid much attention to him. And then Gertson sent me a video of him, and he was just good. Like first few years, you know, he was kind of colty, had a couple of moves, but now he's kind of lined himself out. He's matured.
Yeah.
And lined himself out, and he was just really good last night. Bailed up in the air for me, give me time to set my feet, and show out a little bit, and it was good.
That was good. Much power to him?
Not really. No,
Okay.
whenever horses buck like that and actually have timing, it takes all the power away.
Yeah. So 3 world championships already. You got 3 of them in a row. You are the reigning 2022 Saddle Bronc champion.
Yes,
Is this
sir.
a year, man? Is this a year?
I mean, it might be. Who knows? You know, I haven't even been thinking about it. You know, I've like did a couple calculations because I am a numbers guy, but I'm just out here having fun and trying to make a bunch of money, set myself up for this year, and just let the chips lay where they fall.
What's the year looking like? What are you thinking? You running hard?
Yeah. I hope to be going hard this year in the PRCA and some of the IPRA. I'm ended up at Denver this week, and then go to Georgia, one in Mississippi. Then I got to go to Fort Worth after that, and then it's just bam, bam, bam.
And how are you traveling these days? I see the van out here all wrapped up, looking great.
Yeah. Thanks to the fabulous WCRA, I was able to afford that, and I'm still paying payments on it, but the payments are affordable because of them.
Okay.
Last year, I got the chance to win the $25,000 bonus, and that when I told myself going in, like, that was my goal, because I had already had a van that had a bunch of miles on it, but it left me stranded one summer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I ended up spending like $7,000 on it, getting it fixed up in Sioux Falls. And I told myself that year, if I could win that year-end bonus, whenever they come out with it, that $25,000, that I would go out and spend the money to buy myself a new van. That way, whenever I go rodeo, I don't have to worry about nothing, Like,
you bet.
I can take off, and rough stock and timed events, it's all a mind game, Like, it's 90% mental.
Okay.
So, like, if you're worrying about your vehicle or worrying about stuff at home, it's going to take away from your game.
Yeah. So a couple things there. We are super interested in the WCRA. We're paying a ton of attention to it right now.
Yeah, and a couple things. Ever since you said moving on up, the only thing that comes to mind is the Jefferson. So he's moving on up.
You're showing your age.
Never mind. But you won the $25,000 bonus.
Yes, sir.
Let's tell the people what it takes to win that $25,000. And let's tell the contestants, get off the couch and don't be.
Yeah, especially with these IPRAs, because I know technically we're paying a second entry fee, essentially, but we're investing in ourselves. And going to IPRAs or amateur rodeos or co-sanctioned deals or even low-end PRCAs, you can play the game and not spend a fortune to win it. Like, I did my taxes with all that year, and I spent right at $6,000 to win $36,000 in the PRC in the WCRA that year.
Yeah.
So, like, it was totally worth it for me. And a guy, especially in the rough stock here in the Southeast or in the IPRA, you have up until the rodeo to nominate those rodeos. So, you know your stock, you know your draw, and you know about 80% of the rodeos. If you go and cover your horse or cover your bull, you're going to get paid. So you're going to win points with the WCRA. So why not?
And that's a great point. I didn't realize you could do it right up the road. Well, I got a piece of junk. I'm not going to spend the extra $50. But and I know that I don't know the whole concept. I know the bigger events that they'll bonus you more.
Yep.
But you can win. Like, the boys have won like $500 bonuses for winning the most points of everybody that weekend. Is that how it works? I mean, if
they did away with that. They did away with that this last year, and they went to doing the year-end bonuses. So now they pay 4 holes. Excuse me. They pay 4 holes in the year-end bonus. So you can win $25,000, $10,000, $7,500, $2,500.
And to get there to do that, you have to accumulate the most points of everybody going.
Yep. You just got to accumulate the most points. You got to keep going. You got to keep nominating and gathering up as much points as you can throughout the year.
Yeah, and I know, like, I got 2 boys, and say hi to Colton in Denver if you see him, or smack him on the back of the head.
I sure will.
But,
definitely Colton.
When, when he was going to him, it was like why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
don't be crazy about this. This is a good deal. Take advantage of it.
And like in the timed events, I know they got to earn their way into the progressive rounds. But once you get to those progressive rounds, there's a ton of money just in those. and then you make short round, and that's where the big bucks are.
Right.
So describe Lazy last weekend, or a format like that. You got the progressives for our
Right.
listeners. Talk a little bit about how it progresses up, and I know barrel racing's got some buybacks and cool stuff. Bronc riding doesn't have that, does it?
I don't think so. So I wasn't here last weekend because I was already preoccupied with the bareback and saddle bronc school that we do in Murray, Kentucky.
Oh.
We started that 3 years ago, trying to help out the IPRA and give back to the sport that's given us so much.
Yeah.
And try to make bareback and saddle bronc riders.
What was the turnout?
It was really good, really good. We had 33 students show up, about 14 in the Bears, 19 in the Broncs, and we some of them figured out that it wasn't their event.
Yeah.
It wasn't
part of it, right?
That's just part of it,
You bet.
And I'd rather them figure it out and not get hurt
You bet.
than just crack their egg time and time again and like, oh, well, by the end of the weekend, maybe we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
But overall, I had never been a part of a school
Yeah.
that had more heart, grit, and try than these kids.
Oh, wow.
Did this past weekend.
Okay. Yeah.
Like we were all talking about it. Me and Logan Corbett, Cody Gertson, Rowdy, Dylan, Tyler Waltz, the Herbert brothers. We were all talking about it. And bareback, I didn't get to talk to any of the bareback riders because I was just occupied with the saddle bronc riders the entire time. But we all talked about it, and we all agreed, like, the heart of these kids was crazy.
Yeah.
And that's something you can't teach. Like, we can give them the tools to lift on their rein, to set up their saddle, to set up their rigging, to figure out how to practice, all these things, but you can't teach heart. You can't teach try.
That's right. So, and you talked about your sport being 90% mental. What are you coaching these youngsters along those lines?
So, like, a lot of positive thinking, and a lot of self-affirmations, visualizations of putting themselves in that winning position. Like, that's what I try to do, like, on a daily basis, where not so much during the week, because I like to step away from rodeo whenever I'm at home. That way I can get things done. But leading up to the rodeo, I'm visualizing myself winning. I'm visualizing myself lifting on my reins, setting my feet. The crowd cheering, the color of the horse, even, like, all those things.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's you, not me. Just doing all those things to set themselves up to be successful, and having that positive thinking. Because if you, I was talking to somebody last night, like, if before you get to the rodeo, and I bet she can contest this too, before you get to that rodeo, you've got to have it won in your mind.
I see.
Like, you've got to be a winner in your mind before you get there.
Yeah.
And the difference between being cocky and being confident is cocky is telling everybody that you're good.
Yeah.
Confidence is just telling yourself that you're good.
I see.
And that's perfectly okay. You've got to tell yourself that you're good. You got to tell yourself that you're gonna go out there and win and do good. Because if not, then
who else will, right?
You're just throwing money to me, basically.
That's right. Thank you very much.
When you get these things from the association saying, what's your favorite rodeo? What are you doing? What do you think? What rodeos did you want to win? It's like, what are you, crazy? I entered it.
All of them.
I entered it.
Yeah.
If I don't think I'm going to win it, I don't enter it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And in your mind, you must think you're going to win. And I did some schools, and I didn't. If they really wanted to learn, I didn't mind teaching them. But if they were there to just, but the one thing I'd say, if there's doubt in your mind, doubt will take over.
Yep.
You never have to worry about that. It'll come and take over.
Yeah.
And so a lot of things that the mental aspect. And the mental, I don't think really takes a hold till they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's a level there where, okay,
and
now
another thing is the people that you're around. The Bible says bad company corrupts good morals. And I want to take that even further. You run with trash, you'll be trash. You run with champions, you'll be a champion. So whenever you surround yourself with people that are winning,
Yeah.
the conversation is so much more different
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
somebody that's not,
Yeah.
Okay.
especially in the rig.
Did you hear that, people? That is. the
We talked
most-
about that, don't you? Yeah.
When you ever, and it's not so much anymore.
Yeah.
But back in the old days,
Yep.
you see a truck and you got nervous when that truck pulled in. They're
Yep.
winners.
Yep.
Every one of them.
You bet.
Now a lot of people travel separate and by themselves, but winners make winners.
That's
'Cause
right.
You will step up to the next level. You look at the Canadian Bronc riders. They were all kids the same age, and now look at them.
Yep.
They've pushed one another to the next level that nobody's ever seen before.
Yep.
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 It's just wonderful.
I got a funny story about that. Me and Kody Pringle, you remember him, saddle bronc rider from Georgia?
Nope.
His wife made the barrel racing here last year. He made the finals here in 50, IFR 50. I'm sorry. But anyways, me and him was rodeoing one summer, and I had a little old maroon car. It was a Ford Taurus, and me and him, we were going rodeoing that summer, and we were going everywhere. And we show up at this 500. It was either 500 or 750 added ladding rodeo, and we get out, and one of the bronc riders like, "What are you wolves doing over here?" I didn't look at myself like that yet. Like I hadn't been that successful, I felt like, yet. But whenever me and him showed up and somebody was saying that, we was like, all right. The Maroon Massacre strikes again.
Bowed your chest out and said, "Do you see my Taurus?"
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's right. It did end up giving me a little bit of confidence that day, and I guess it did him too, because me and him were first and second that day.
So we've got to, I want to get him back to WCRA, but let me tell you this. We got to get him back on, Sam, because we got the 3 R's concept. You want to tell him what the 3 R's concept is?
Oh,
Read, write, and arithmetic.
Close. Close.
rodeo,
Okay.
racing, and wrestling.
Now, I'm from Mississippi. It's not wrestling. It's wrestling.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Sorry.
wrestling.
And-
Yeah.
and everybody
A Dusty
pronounces
Myers
it
shout
different.
out right there.
Yeah, but
Wrestling.
Actually,
Wrestling.
we're talking about the real wrestling and what that does for the sport of rodeo.
Gotcha. See, Mississippi, we don't have that.
We don't
Yeah,
have it.
yeah,
I would love to have done that, though.
yeah.
It is such a overlay.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. I've
such
heard
an
that a
overlay.
lot.
It's just incredible, and I've been into it, since I was in high school, and the boys did it. And when Dalen was a junior and made it to states, he said, "Can I go to rodeo in between they have a week off?" I said, "Yeah, you can go up." Michigan, a horse fell and broke his foot, and I was the father of the year to the coaches. You can imagine what they thought.
yeah.
And but they had him do a wrestling podcast. And Dalen wanted to go off rodeo, and that's next year he made the NFR and PBR finals and all that stuff. But he
So self-centered, I tell you.
they had him do something on a podcast after he won the world in the PBR.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, "Someday you'll regret not going your senior year." I said, "I understand it. I ain't going to push you." I said, "You could do that.
Yeah.
But someday you regret it." And on that, he never would tell me, but on that podcast, he did say it. So, but the balance and timing and position of your hips is probably the best thing that helps him.
And the middle aspect, right?
Yeah, it's you and him. That's it.
That's what we talk about.
Yeah, that's
Just
what
like
I've heard a
you and the
lot.
horse.
I know a lot of those top guys going in the PRCA right now. They're all like former wrestlers in high school and college and all that jazz.
Yeah. So anyway, we got to get you back for that. Okay, love to have a conversation along the lines
Yeah,
of the mental
yeah, for
aspect of rodeo. I mean, what a some will say it's a little more than 90%, right? Certainly, you've got to have the muscle memory and all that. But talk a little bit about the WCRA progressives and how a weekend like North Carolina or last weekend could unfold.
So North Carolina and then last week were kind of two different setups to where for the rough stock. So, and I think for the timed events, like they had to qualify for that progressive round, and then it was two long rounds, and then the short round. And I don't know all the rules on how they had it set up for. I know, like, if you won a round, you got seeded into that short round automatically. And then if you were, like, in the top 7 or 8, maybe in the average, then you got to come back for that. But I think this past weekend, like they had 2 different long rounds, and then they take the top whatever out of those long rounds to come back for the short round. And then they do the Triple Crown round after that.
Yep.
And that's where, the 3 ride off or the 3 rope off, whatever. And that's where the big money's paid out. And then I think for Corpus Christi, from what I remember them saying, I think it's 3 long rounds and then the short round on that last day.
And what's the total payoff for that one? Have you heard? For
well, I know like for the short round, it pays $15,000, 2,500. Am I right on second place? 2,500 or maybe 3,500 and then 2,500, something like that. I can't remember. I've just always had my mindset on that 15,000.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not go for the big bucks?
Yeah, for sure.
Money, disgusting. But the cool thing that they're going to be doing now that I've been hearing a lot of, and I've really got my sights set on it, is the new Kid Rock event that they're doing at Arlington. And I think the top 2 guys from Corpus Christi in each event, except for the bull riding, they'll take the top 1 out of that one. They're going to have a massive $1 million rodeo in Arlington over the top of the PPR finals, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So
the day after, I think.
Yeah. So there'll be like 6 teams, I think.
Okay.
They'll do a draft. They'll have 6 teams.
Yep.
And two contestants out of each event will compete. It's
This is so cool. The amount of money that's up and the events that we got to get folks out to see it, right? And we got to get competitors get in this, get nominated, right? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody has until April, so I think like this, whenever the winter run starts up here in the next week, you're gonna start seeing a lot more of that.
Yeah.
So.
And your winter run's starting up. It sounds like. Who are you traveling with this year?
I travel a lot by myself.
Do you?
I told myself a long time ago. I jumped in with some guys and we went to Florida one weekend, and I was miserable. I didn't win a dime. Rode like maybe 2 horses that week.
Yeah.
Bad luck just kept coming at me. I broke my saddle that week, and it was just like I told myself right there, I will rodeo by myself.
Yeah.
And win a lot more money before I go with anybody else.
Yeah.
And that's negative.
Okay.
But Joe Farron might be jumping in with me some.
Okay.
There's a Bronc rider from California. Me and him talked about whenever the Florida run comes, Quentin McCorder.
Okay.
Really good guy.
Yeah.
Outstanding saddle bronc rider.
Yeah.
He was like 90-something on a black tie
to
win Sheridan this year.
Oh,
Sheridan
wow.
and Casper, one of those.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's going to fly down, and me and him's going to go rodeo in Florida or some. Kyle Runfola, he's talked to me some about going. I know Sam knows him pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
And then Dylan Hancock, he's going to be a daddy soon. So, he said he wants to get up with me and let's go rodeo this spring some. So I got a couple of guys, so we'll just see who actually jumps in and goes.
Okay. Well, excellent.
In that truck, the good ones will help you and the bad ones will hurt you. So be very choosy, and I'm sure you see that. And I would like to commend you. It looked like you've dropped a few pounds and are in better shape than I've ever seen you. So
I actually have gained weight.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm just a lot more muscle now. But thank you.
Shape.
I appreciate that.
Well, that's hard, especially on an old guy like me. But
thank you, Papa.
But you better get Kyle early because he's getting married in March.
That's right. I forgot about
got
that.
the invitation the other day. It's like,
that's sorry, dog. I didn't.
Yeah.
Kyle, if you're listening, I better get one.
Oh boy, did I open it up! But no, I think sounds like you're doing amazing things. Proud of you.
I appreciate it.
Keep it up.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck tonight. Go get them.
Thank you, brother.
All right, man. Let's go for number 4. Why not?
Oh, why not?
4 in a row. Let's sweep.
We're here.
Let's go. All right, man.
Appreciate
Good talking
y'all.
to you.
Thank y'all.
Before you go, we got a slogan, BTC, riding for the brand. Could you do it for us?
BTC, riding for the brand?
Please. I mean, your best saddle bronc, round-winning voice, if you would, please.
Round-winning voice.
Yeah.
Okay. From behind the chutes, BTC, riding for the brand.
There you go.
I think he did it better than anybody.
You
He
think
did
so?
You, Doug.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rinehart.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
What I liked what he really talked about was traveling partners, and if he couldn't do it with somebody he wanted to, he went by himself. And I never liked driving that much, so I found somebody I wanted to travel with.
Yeah, right, right. And it sounds like he's pretty particular, from the interview of who he'll jump with. And I really enjoyed the part about being out at the school and helping there with that rodeo school that they did and everything.
Yeah, that was a lot to give up, the WCRA Rodeo, to go to a rodeo school and help kids. So
yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Really appreciate Kody stopping by. Let's move to the bull riding, Sam. Hudson Bolton, 2 first places in the first round, or in the first 2 rounds. If you remember, first night he goes 75 points and no one else rode, so he picked up $9,259 for that round. Last night he wins it, and there were 2 other rides. So first place paid $3,700, and that of course puts him in the lead in the average with 164 points on 2 heads, Sam.
Yeah, that boy made a really nice ride last night, and I think if you'd ask him, the one he rode the day before was harder to ride.
Yeah.
But his mechanics are very well. I'm impressed with him. I really wanted to see this kid. I've heard a lot about him, and it hasn't disappointed. He's rode a bull that was scattery and didn't buck real good, hard to ride. He rode him and one last night that really bucked, turned back in the gate, and he spurred him the last couple jumps. So
looked good.
Outstanding,
absolutely. Number 2 in the round was Reed Arnold. Henning, Tennessee Cowboy came in to the event number 6. He's picked up 1 position with that win, or that second place finish last night. So he's currently sitting in the number 5 position. Won 82.25 points. Picked up $2,700, and his average is 82.25. So 1 for 2 puts him second in the average.
Yeah, this bull turned back pretty hard, might have hit his head, and could have got offered a reride if he wanted, I believe, and he did his job. It didn't mess him up. He stayed right there, hooked up, rode the bull, stayed square, and they rewarded him for it.
You bet. And then finally, Dason Janes, Muldrow, Oklahoma Cowboy, comes to the event, comes to the finals ranked 8th. With last night's momentum, picked up 2 places. He's currently sitting number 6 in the year-end standings. 81 points, gets him 3rd place, $1,800, 3rd in the average.
Yeah. 81 and was a nice bull ride.
Yeah.
He took care of his business. It just flowed, and he made it around that corner. That bull stutter stepped, and he moved. He almost bucked him off. He jumped right back in the middle, made a nice bull move, and then he made another one later on in the ride, and kind of impressive.
Very impressive. Very nice. All right, moving on to the big men's event. Let's go to the steer wrestling. David Reagan Jr. comes to play. 3.7 last night, Sam. Puts him first on the round, $3,700.
And a new arena record.
Yeah.
So that behind this barrier, if you're 3.7, outstanding.
Yeah, outstanding. Yeah,
really good.
And we've talked a little bit about that. He comes into the year-end standings. He came here 4th position. He is now sitting in 3rd position. First round, he picked up a check. He split 4th. Last night, 1st, and puts him 1st in the average, Sam. 9.1 on 2 head.
Well, that's good on 2, because you're down in that 4-second range on each of them. Pretty close.
Yep.
4.5. So,
yep.
Yeah, we'll see how it shakes out, but he definitely has momentum.
Yep. And right now, he is sitting, per my calculations, if it all ended today, right? Forget the average. We don't even ride tonight. He's $2,700 off the lead with Justin Thigpen.
Oh, wow. Justin's got people in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him in a bit.
Yeah.
And he stopped by yesterday, and what a neat guy to talk to.
Yes, it was good.
Yeah, learned a lot and really shared a lot, so that was very cool. Then we had two cowboys actually split the round. Cord Barraclow and Kody Dosher, they split with a 4 and 4, and they both picked up $2,300 last night, Sam.
So they split second and third.
Second and third.
And, yeah, they 4-4, so they were off the pace of the leader quite a bit, but the leader, everything worked in his favor. So they came out and did their job and got the money, and on they'll go. Absolutely.
And then last cowboy we're going to talk about is going to be, two cowboys, I guess. We had a fourth place here, one cowboy, Matt Obrey. He comes in and dogs with a 5-second run.
Yeah, Matt's a smaller guy that has to handle cattle really well because it doesn't fit his style to try to muscle them. And not that he's not strong, but he just is smaller in stature, and he has to do his basics well to compete with these guys. And evidently he does. He's here and he plays. So
absolutely,
good for him.
Absolutely good for him. And that actually puts him third in the average, Sam. 10 and 5 on 2 head.
Good job.
So rolling on. And then we go to our number one cowboy coming in. And he's got 2 no scores, Sam, in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, and that's so uncharacteristic of Justin. The first one was a fluke that gave him, he didn't place. He didn't get a no score. He gave a broken barrier that day, 4.2 plus 10.
Yeah.
When it was a bad gate. And
yeah.
So whatever, he didn't get off last night. The horse got wide, and it just didn't work for him.
Yeah.
So
he's
going to have to pick it up.
He's going to have to pick it up.
Run over.
You bet. Yep. You bet. Anybody knows how to do it. A 22-time world champion. I believe he's seven world championships just in the steer wrestling alone, Sam. So he knows about the pressure.
Oh, he knows how to do it, and I wouldn't count him out by any stretch.
This motivates him, I think.
Yeah, it's got to be his turn, but 2 go-round wins are not out of the question.
No, and you do that, you pick up a lot of momentum very, very fast.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the tie-down calf roping. Last night we had 2 cowboys that tied for the lead, 8.3 seconds, Sam. They each pick up $3,200. Cato Llewellyn out of Oklahoma, he picked up 2 positions for his performance so far this year. He placed in the first round. And then Cinch Weitzel had a nice run the first night, 10 and 6, but out of the money. But last night, that 8 and 3, he picked up $3,200, and in the process, he picked up 8 point positions. Came to the finals in 15th, currently sitting in 7th.
The 2 guys that split first and second couldn't be any farther apart in what they're doing in their rodeo career. Cato's been out there a long time, roping well at the big rodeos, and everybody knows how outstanding he is. And here comes this young skinny kid on Appaloosa.
Yeah.
And ties the go-round with him.
Yep.
So
Yep.
That's what is fun, when you see somebody that don't even know that can come in and play with the best that's going down the road.
Absolutely. And then Zeb Chapman, he placed third in the round the first night. He's currently sitting number 2 in the average, 17.5 on 2 head, 8. Yeah, that's pretty aggressive. That's good times.
Yeah, and Zeb's a smaller guy with a big heart, and he knows how to play the game, and he probably will keep chasing them down.
Yeah, excellent. And then Jared Noren rounded it all out. He picked up 4th place with a 9 and 2, and he has That's his first check of the weekend, or the week, I should say, sitting in 8th in that average. He was 16-8 in the first round, so a touch long, and then a 9-8 last night.
Yeah, Jared's got nothing to lose at this point. He's going to be a gunslinger and try to move up some spots and get a little bit of that average money. But he knows what he's going to have to do. He's going to go after go-rounds.
Absolutely. Yeah. And finally, number one on our leaderboard, Justin Thigpen. He, if you remember, he was 8-3 in the first round. He wins 3,700 last night, out of the money with a 10-1. But he's sitting pretty solid at a third in the average, Sam.
Yeah, and Justin ran his cap a little longer last night, and it just wasn't. The first night was so smooth and good, and last night it just wasn't quite. 2 seconds difference. So he'd get out a little quicker. He runs at him a little better, and he'll be in there to win go-rounds. And if not, he might hold off the barrier a little bit like last night and go in for try to win that average check.
You bet. And then in our team roping last night, Garrett Smith, Illinois Cowboy, and his partner Josh Clayton out of Tennessee. They ended up with a 4-8 in the round, Sam. That's good enough to win it, 3,700 there. They were 5 point seconds the first night for a second place finish, and the average are sitting in second place with 10-2 on two head.
Team roping's been very good here. Some guys have missed, but it's because they're trying to win. And I never was upset watching any of the kids if they did bad by trying to win.
You bet.
So, and I'm sure it's not going to change the next two go-rounds. Everybody's going to be gunning at it. And it's going to be good watching that. I really enjoyed the team roping here.
Yeah. And the next team that ran, they placed second in the round, Brady Barentine and Reno Gonzalez. And they were a 5 flat, pick up second place, $2,700. Couple that with this third place, the first round. They're sitting third in the average, Sam, 10.6 on two head.
And these guys been making really good runs, and they're going to have to stay that way, and either they're going to have to make up their minds whether they want to go after average money or go rounds or both. I think it's a little early to say, okay, let's just go out there and be gunslingers at where they're sitting.
Yeah.
And I think they'll probably just go try to make another good solid run like they have and see what tomorrow brings.
Absolutely. Next team to go is Alabama's Cowboy Jake Wells teamed up with the Tennessee Cowboy Briar Hamilton, and they placed third in the round with a 5-2. Couple that with the first round of a 4-8. They're sitting at an even 10 seconds. Number one in the average, and again, that average is going to pay $7,400 per roper.
Per man.
Per man.
Yes, and I think they'll probably go right after it today and see how it comes about, and then make a decision tomorrow how they, probably have a game plan, talk about it amongst each other, and the go rounds pay pretty good, so they might go after both.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the team that come in here number one in the standings, they remain number one in the standings. Heath King and Stephen Britnell. Been a touch quiet, just a touch quiet. Last night they picked up their first check with a 5-3. They split fourth and fifth for $463. Per my calculation, they are sitting number 7 in the average.
Yeah, and the reason they're quiet is because they broke a barrier. Was a plus 10.
Yep.
So they're roping really good. They just tried a little too hard, and hey, can't blame them for trying.
Can't blame them for trying.
And I don't know this header, but he's going to try again the rest of the weekend.
You bet. You bet.
They got nothing to lose in the average at this point. So
You bet.
Go for the go round money.
Run for the go round money. Absolutely. And with the right kind of math, Sam, they're only 3 points out or 3 places out of the average. You go pop 2 number one rounds, you're going to pick up you're going to pick up in the average.
And they're going to need some help.
Yeah,
Some
true.
guys are going
True.
to have to, that plus 10 is going to hurt them pretty bad.
Yeah.
But, hey,
Yeah.
that's rodeo.
you-
Not out of the question.
So you think there'll be some? So far, we got a number of teams that have been clean, both rounds. So, yeah,
Yeah, so they can't control what everybody else does. They can
Yeah.
just control what they do.
you bet. And then finally, our last team here to go was Kobe Sanchez and Zach Mabry. And they were 5-3 last night to split fourth and fifth in the round, pick up $463. They are 16-6 on two head, and puts them sixth in the average.
Yeah, they made a nice run. When you're 5-3 in this big pen, that's a nice run, and they did their job, and we'll see what the rest of the weekend brings for them.
Absolutely. Moving to the Cowgirl barrel racing. Did I hear you say you were excited about the Cowgirl barrel racing?
Believe it or not, I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Emily Stiles, Plymouth, Indiana Cowgirl, comes in on Sophie, runs a 16.450 last night to win the round, picks up 3,700. She knocked over a barrel in the first round, Sam, puts her 10th in the average. But she's got momentum. I mean, she was last Cowgirl to run last night. So a little bit deeper ground in theory, and boy, she knocked it out.
Yeah, that horse was amazing, just amazing, and the standard pattern, a 16.4, that's pretty good, and she did her job. I naked eye, I thought she'd end up second, but she was first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
wow.
Well, at naked eye, number 2 position, and this was your pick kind of from the beginning. The Vermont Cowgirl, Wendy Chestnut. She ran about mid run. In other words, she was like 6th out or 7th out, something like that, if I remember. And she ran a 16.495 4 100ths off the lead, and she ends up number 2. But on two head, Sam, she is number 1 in the average.
And that's kind of what I said from the start. That horse is so solid. He does not make mistakes. Very seldom does she hit a barrel. And hope I don't jinx her. But just, I thought she had to win and run after she was done. And, and she didn't. But Wendy, if you're listening to this, we missed you the other day.
Yeah.
So,
you got to stop by and talk to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So.
All right. And then Josie Thompson. She come in number 7 in the world standings. She's picked up a couple positions. She's in the number 5 right now, Sam. She goes to 16.505. 16.505. So compare that to the 16.495. I'm not even going to attempt the math, okay? But she places 3rd with 1,800 last night. And she tipped over a barrel in the first round, sitting 11th in the average right now. Go around money time.
Yeah, Julie's gonna run at it. And when she made her run last night, I didn't think anybody would beat her.
Yeah.
She was early out in the ground
Yeah.
and was a great run.
Yeah.
Just a great run.
Yep.
So.
And as we watched the story of the Julies, Julie Goodrich last night for the second night in a row got in the money. She was a 16-6, and she placed 4th last night for 926. That puts her at 33 seconds, 33-2 on two head, number 2 in the average, Sam.
Yes, and Julie would probably be winning both go rounds and the average, except for her horse has gone wide on the 3rd barrel. See, people, that's how much I paid attention.
Yeah.
The horse has gone a little wide on the 3rd barrel both times.
Yeah.
And that probably cost her from winning it because she was laying down a run, and it was good.
It's been exciting. And the number 1 on the leaderboard, of course, Julie Plard, she won the first round the first night, blazing run. Last night she tipped over a barrel, and that has dropped her in the average to 12th. Sam.
Look at what one little mistake can do. it can cost you a bunch.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she'll come back with a vengeance. You don't have to worry about that. She's here for a reason and wants to win.
Yeah. And we were fortunate enough, speaking of wanting to win, we were fortunate enough to get an interview with Emily Stiles. Great to have her stop by. This morning, we'd like to welcome to BTC Miss Emily Stiles. She's with us here today, comes out of Plymouth, Indiana, and won last night's round. That'd be the Friday night round, round number 2, with a blazing 16.45. Very fast run. Good morning, Emily. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Congratulations on last night's win.
Thank you.
How'd that feel?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah?
We were going for a round win, and I just wanted to have the best run that we could, and we did, and it was a good deal.
It was a great deal. Ground felt good.
Yep, absolutely.
And you got a pretty cool horse you're riding right now. Tell us the story if you would. Is it what do you? She's a mare, right?
Yes, sir.
16.
Yep.
16 years old.
She's 17 this year.
17,
Yep.
sorrel, and undeniably a blazing star. What,
Yes, sir.
what do you call her for short?
Sophie.
Sophie.
Yep.
Okay. So tell us about Sophie.
Sophie's a really special mare in our program. So my aunt and uncle own Athletic Style Ranch, Rhonda and Ty Casey. They own Undeniably Debonair, which is our stallion. He's actually 28 this year, and he is. They've owned him since he was a yearling. He's Cokes and Lucky Tray bred, and she's by him and out of BJ Skip Chico, which was one of our top producing mares. She's had 4 fillies. They've all been winners. She was owned by my aunt and uncle until she was a 5-year-old. When Brenda Mauger bought her, which was a family friend, she went to a lot of IPRAs, hauled with Rhonda and Ty. Her and her husband Randy went a lot, and she won a lot on the mare as well. She won the Central Tour Finals average and the Mid-States average on her, and filled her WPRA permit and went to the permit finals and did well. And she did a lot on the mare. She passed of cancer in 2021.
Wow.
And Randy was kind of torn between keeping the mare, selling the mare, and he didn't really want to sell her because she's really special to everyone. So he ended up bringing her back to our place, and Rhonda ran her a little bit, but she has her own string of really nice horses and didn't really need her, and I tried her and I got along with her. She's really fun to run. She stays pretty flat, and she's pretty turny, pretty honest. She's fun to ride, and she's goofy on the ground. You wouldn't think she's 17 years old and seasoned because she spooks at everything. She's scared of her own shadow some days.
Okay.
And she'll buck sometimes.
Oh, she does?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
She's dumped me twice this year.
Really?
I hate
Just
to admit
this year?
it, but we were at Moorhead, Kentucky early this winter, and she bucked me off in a warm-up pen, and then she went out and run 1 second that night at that rodeo. But she's just funny like that, and she's touchy. She's a mare.
Yeah.
But she's sweet as can be and likes people, likes attention for the most part. And she got lots of treats last night. But I started running her late 2021.
Okay.
Like October was the first time I had run her that year. And that year I didn't do a ton on her. She actually had kind of a bout with EPM.
Okay.
So she ended up having about December through January or February off from 2021 to 2022. And we got that all taken care of, and she's healthy and happy now and looks really good and feels really good. But she had that, so we had to deal with that. And then we came back that 2022, and I ran some mid-states rodeos on her, and I made the finals there, and I was second in their rookie race that year. And then this year I bought it would have been 2023, last year I guess, I bought my IPRA card.
Okay. Really? Rookie year.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep, this was my first year in the IPRA, And I'd been to some of their rodeos because they co-sanctioned with Mid-States, but I was never a member.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and I ran that, and it was kind of a goal to win Rookie of the Year and make the finals, but it just kind of whatever happened, and we had a really good year and ended up making the finals and came in 5th in the standings and leading the rookie race, which is just such a blessing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it without the mare and without Randy letting me jockey her and ride her, and my aunt and uncle helping me and everything else to get up and down the road. But it's been really fun.
Okay. And you're from Plymouth, Indiana, up around the Elkhart, South Bend area.
Yep.
And been there your whole life?
Yes.
And it sounds like lots of horses always around?
Absolutely. I was raised about 2 miles from my aunt and uncle's ranch, so I was down there pretty much every day, riding whatever I could, and I got my own pony when I was 8, and he bucked me off a lot.
Oh, wow.
But that pony taught me a lot and helped me, and he's still at the ranch and goes and wins his barrel races.
Okay. And you talked about OPM.
EPM.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Equestrian.
It's equine.
Equine.
I'm trying to think of the actual.
But anyway,
definition.
EPM.
Right.
Yeah, and that's
Has to do with possums.
Possums is
Correct.
what's supposed to carry it, and it is terrible.
Yeah.
And some
It is.
horses, they never come back from it.
Right.
It's when they get it, it frightens. It just frightens you to death. We had a very good Dash to Fame bred horse that got it, and he was never right after that.
So you were able to identify it pretty quickly and treat, and any lingering effects for Sophie?
There are some effects. We treat her and make sure we keep her on her vet appointments and so on. We treat her usually once or twice a year just as a preventative.
Okay.
Because typically once they've had it and they've had it as bad as she did, it doesn't fully leave their system.
Okay.
There's still a trace of it there, but if you stay on top of it and keep them treated and keep taking care of them and keep their nutrition good and so on and so forth,
you bet.
You can keep it down.
You bet.
And Doug, I think we need to get a veterinary to let us in on some of this stuff because it could help the people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Look for the signs as soon as you see it. Let's get on top of it.
You bet.
So,
Absolutely.
oh.
No, it can
Thank
be
you.
very debilitating. Yeah. And when you talked about Sophie, you were describing her runs, and you said she's pretty flat.
Yep.
And what's that mean?
She stays like level-headed, and when she runs, she flattens out, and she's got a lot of stride. She's actually only 15 hands tall. She isn't
Okay.
very big mare,
Okay.
but she can stride, and a lot of people think she's big, and this pen is. I haven't read the measurements exactly, but it's pretty close to a standard set.
Yeah.
And if you know our track pens, I know you do, they're little.
Yeah.
All summer, like,
Yeah.
you get in the 12 seconds sometimes, they're small. And
Yeah.
it's a big change to come from that to these. And we have a handful that are bigger, like Evansville is bigger, and we've got one up in Michigan that's a little bigger, but none of them are true standards. Evansville might be, but a lot of them aren't.
And when you say track arenas, you're talking racetracks or whatever?
Yeah, usually it's the fair rodeos
Yeah.
and the sulkies. I did some, but after a while figured out they really weren't worth putting all the effort into it.
Yeah.
Stuck with trying to get more of the multi-performance rodeos.
You bet.
And
those are super short patterns.
Yes,
I mean, those how does she do in the really short patterns like that?
She does pretty well. When they're really, really narrow, sometimes I struggle getting a good line from my first to second, but I think part of it is myself and my riding. But she does pretty well in the track pens, and she likes a little bit bigger of a pattern per se, but she'll still go and work and she pretty much works in whatever I put her on.
Yeah.
She stands up on the ground and she's just honest and tries every time.
Okay.
so that was my question. Is this a standard pattern? Because it's a good size pattern. But where was I going? This is a standard pattern. Do you know, as a 16.5 a good time in a standard pattern?
I would say so. I mean, like, I know the record is around I don't know if it's still a 16.3. I know it was for a little while. I think Haley Kinsel had it for a little while. I'm not 100% sure if she still does. I'd have to look it up, but a low 16 is good.
And you ran a 16.4 last night, so my goodness, you're, within 2/10 of the record for the world on a standard pattern.
I believe so.
So that's pretty amazing.
That's a very amazing. Yeah,
Right.
that was. We could see it unfolding. We knew it was fast. I actually videoed it and put it up on Facebook.
Did you?
I did. So I could tell it was fast when you come a running. Fun to watch. And just for the record, Emily, just so you know, it was several weeks ago that I actually declared barrel racing my favorite event of all the events. And I think it was it yesterday, Sam? You were saying you thought it was your favorite event too now.
Oh, I don't know if it's my favorite event, but I think it is the most competitive event. Pretty much, going here anyway.
Sure.
The girls
sure.
are so, and it's all over the country. They're just so close to 1/100th of a second, or paying off the top four within 1/10 of a second. It's just so competitive, and it's good to watch, especially when you're paying attention to it now. I never really did before,
we do.
but you got me thinking about it, Doug.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's definitely fun to watch.
Yeah, the only thing I paid attention before was ground, because they kind of jumped me if it wasn't real good. So,
Right.
So, Ellicottville, New York, you said big win this year.
Yes, sir.
Do you get up there much? You get up into the Northeast?
That was the first time I'd been to New York, actually.
Okay.
We go over, Ohio's usually the furthest we go, but I liked Ellicottville. It's a little bit of a drive with the hills and all that stuff, but we went to Lisbon, Ohio, and then we went over there, and then we actually came back the next day and went to South Bend, Indiana, which is 30 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
But me and Sage Thomas went up there, breakaway roper.
Okay.
And we didn't do real well in Lisbon, but we had a really good run in Ellicottville. And the funny thing is, it was actually my birthday that day.
Oh.
It was July 1st.
July
and,
1st, okay.
So it was pretty cool to get the win that day, but it had rained, and I think it did make the ground better because it was a 3-performance rodeo.
Yeah.
They had a performance the night before, a performance the day I was there, and then I think a performance the next day.
Okay.
And just the ground got faster, and my mare just went out and worked, and that wasn't it wasn't a track pen, but it's not a huge pattern.
Yeah.
But it was a fun rodeo to go to.
You bet.
Yep, paid good, had good contestants.
Good crowds.
Yep.
Good crowds, and it's 4 performances there.
Oh yeah,
Starts
it is.
Thursday.
Yep.
And if you want to go back to the Northeast, another Benton, Pennsylvania has a good size pen, about the size of this one. Attica, New York is good.
Yep.
And North Washington, Pennsylvania. Depends on if it rains there or not. That ground it changes a lot.
Yep.
They work hard at it, but Mother Nature, you can't change that.
Right.
So,
Right.
But there's some very good rodeos over that way.
Yep. Yeah, I'll have to look at them next season.
And the best ground of anybody up there is Ford City.
Really.
A little rodeo, and really, they do a great job with the ground there.
Yep.
Really good.
That's good.
And you got to do Ford City. Okay. I mean, it is an amazing place. It's out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Okay. Nowhere. You got to know how to get there. Right. Small 2-lane road going in.
Uh-oh.
And you can make it. I mean, we haul pots and stuff in and out of there. It's at the Fort Armstrong Horse Park. So lots of trails and that sort of thing, but just a cool place to hang out. And they pack the place. It's a crazy Saturday night rodeo. So just a great arena. If you have an opportunity, Ford City.
Gotcha.
And what's cool is, if you were to stitch it together, you do Ellicottville the first weekend. The next weekend you do Ford City. The next weekend you do Benton, Pennsylvania. So they all stitch together.
Yep.
Anyway, we're from that part of the world. So.
Gotcha.
And Ford City is in Pennsylvania. That's what we didn't tell you, but
Yeah.
if you don't like hills, maybe you don't want to go.
Yeah.
I might need to find some hauling partners to go with me. Yep.
Yeah.
It is a horse park and set up special for horses. And, the people that do the ground there know barrel racing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a 2-performance rodeo, and they may have 100 barrel racers.
Oh, that's good.
So,
Yeah.
a lot of slack.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
At that one, when it was time for the barrel racer, when the rodeo was over, I'd get in the truck and drive it to pick the barrels up because I wanted to sleep a little bit because you might be there an hour and a half.
A lot of
Yeah.
slack
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Cheating.
So what's 2024? I know you got to finish up the finals here. Okay, I don't want you to get too far out, but what's 2024? You looking to go hard?
Probably. I want to buy my WPRA permit because I turn 18 in July, but I'll probably still go to some IPRA rodeos and probably try to make the finals again. But I will buy my WPRA permit and go to a handful of those this year and maybe try to make the permit finals, just depending. But I want to try some of those pens and just see. But I do like the IPRA. It's been good to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent.
And what about the WCRA? Have you looked at that at all? Or you're not old enough to have? No, they'll take you.
Yep, the WCRA is open. I nominated, actually, it's funny, at Ellicottville, I won a gift card for the WCRA because I had never nominated anything before. And they called me and they were like, hey, we have a gift card for you. We want to send it to you. And they explained to me how to nominate. And their customer service was really, really good because I had no clue how to do any of it. I'd followed some of it, but I'd never nominated before. And I nominated for the Stampede at the E, which was last week.
Yep.
And I qualified. I was 20th in their standings. And I only nominated five rodeos maybe. So it is a good deal. And it paid really well. But I ran in the qualifier round and the setup was a little bit different, and I think it was a good setup. I just wasn't quite prepared, and I missed the first barrel a little bit and would have probably made it if I hadn't missed the first barrel, and I bought back and was third, and they took 2. But it just wasn't meant to be that weekend. But I think it was really cool. It was really cool to watch, and it paid well, and they do a really good job.
Yeah, the opportunity for money that you can win.
Right.
It's just phenomenal.
It is, yep.
Once again, thinking outside the rope can.
Yeah.
Look what they did. They gave her a gift card.
Yeah.
To get incentive to do it. Who thinks of that
or
stuff?
else I probably wouldn't have nominated.
Right.
But yeah.
And talk a little bit about the buyback. The buyback round, I think it's called.
Yep.
Okay.
So I ran in the qualifying round, and they took... So the top 6 in the standings are seeded to the progressive rounds, which are 2 rounds and an average. And the qualifiers, so they have... I believe there were 36 of us that ran, including the top 6. Maybe there were a handful more, depending if the invitees came or not. But we have to be in the top 4 of those 30-some barrel racers in order to make it to the progressive rounds. And I wasn't, but if you're in the top 4, then if you're not in the top 4, you can buy back, and you can run again that night, because they run us first in the qualifier rounds, which they usually don't run barrels first, but they do that in order for us to give our horses a rest, I think, before the buyback round.
Yeah.
So you go, it's $250, you go on the Next Gen app, you buy back. It's optional, obviously. And then you can run again, and I believe if they get 10 or under, they take 1 that gets to go to the progressive round. So first place gets to go to the progressive round. If they have 11 or more, then they take 2.
Okay.
And they had 15, I believe, so they took 2, and I was third.
Okay.
But I think it's a good deal.
Yeah.
It's a little, some people like it, some people don't, but I mean, you're always going to have someone that doesn't like it. So
Sure. I think it's a good deal. Okay. And final question for me, what do you do with Sophie during the week? I mean, you're in, let's say it's July, it's August, you're running hard. You're at the house, right? You've come home. What do you do with Sophie during the week?
Just during the week when I'm at home, I long trot a lot and lope some small circles, just keep her collected up. Sometimes I have to do like some collection and slow work with her just to get her to kind of slow back down and, let her know she doesn't have to run hard all the time so she doesn't get hot, because she can be a little bit anxious, but she's not hot per se. But I just do slow work, and we have a hot walker if it's raining, because we have a small indoor, like a round pen that we can trot in, but if it's raining or such, we have a hot walker we can put them on, and But I just ride her a lot throughout the week. I think I ride her when I'm running hard and I come home, I let her have a rest, but I usually ride her 3 days a week if I
Okay,
just have
okay.
stuff like on the weekends. And then I cold hose her legs a lot, especially in the summer, or if there's not a hose, I have an ice boot in my trailer and I'll ice her legs. She has a PHT sheet and all her supplements that she's on. She has a custom blend of herbs.
Okay.
And I like to keep her on an electrolyte. I like OE's nitro paste. I really
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
It's pretty affordable and she likes it. And I keep her on Succeed for her guts, just so she doesn't get ulcery on the road, because we haul a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And she's a good hauler.
She, for the most part, yes. She can be a little bit moody sometimes, but she typically hauls pretty well. This summer, I hauled by myself for the most part, but I hauled her, and I have a 5-year-old gelding that I took with.
Challenger.
Yes, to season, and he was kind of her buddy this season, and they haul really well together. The trailer usually doesn't move at all when I'm hauling with
Yeah,
those two.
yeah,
They behave,
yeah.
but she usually hauls pretty good. And when we get to the rodeo, if we're gonna stay for a little while, I set up a pen and let them be in there, and if not, I just tie to the trailer. But and make sure she drinks and that kind of stuff. But,
Stays hydrated, certainly.
Well, I want to thank you for coming, and what an exciting barrel race!
Yeah.
This will be interesting
Yeah.
by the end. You got the 3 Julies.
Yeah.
I told you, like, wow, look at that, 3 Julies in a row there. It's
I
like,
know.
how's that happen?
Right.
But it's got people like me that just kind of casually watched it, really paying attention. So best of luck to you,
thank you.
and hope you have a wonderful finals.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you, Emily, for stopping by.
Thank
Good
you
luck
for having
tonight.
me.
Go, Sophie.
Thank you.
That's a good young lady that I was really impressed with the amount of horses that she has in her family. Not hers, but the background of that kind of horses. It was very impressive. Very impressive.
Absolutely. And got a lot of horse smarts. 18 years old. Just turned 18, I believe.
Well, it sounds like she's been around it her whole life and probably taught right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
away you go. You get turned out at that age, out on the road and going to rodeos, and yeah, it's tough going, but you do what you have to do.
And we campaigned for her to get up north again, not only Ellicottville, but Attica and Benton and Ford City and North Washington. So I'm hoping she gets up there next summer.
Yeah, you're welcome, committees. Even though I don't do it anymore, we still love you and pushing for you.
Absolutely. And then the final event we're going to be talking about tonight is going to be the Cowgirl Breakaway Roping Arena record. They tied the arena record. Kyla Matthews, Athens, Tennessee Cowgirl, number one in the world standings, 1.9, Sam, for first place, 3,700.
That's so impressive for this arena. So impressive. It 1.9 is impressive anywhere you go, but behind this strap, it's very impressive.
Absolutely. Now she did miss her first calf, puts her third in the average though, so she's still in the hunt.
And that's impressive.
That's impressive.
These
Yeah.
girls don't mess up, but
No.
boy, they have this weekend.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
let her and leave that door open for her to keep climbing and climbing. So
Yep.
we'll see how it ends up. I'm interested to see the girls that are 1 and 2 in the average.
Yep.
If they kind of just run out there and track them down, or if they go for the gusto.
You bet.
Because these calves are running hard.
They are. They
They're
are. Absolutely.
running hard. So
Yeah, yeah.
you can't. I don't think you can hold back. You got to go.
Yeah. And Tabitha Owens picked up a check last night with a 3-second run. Just give you a perspective, 1.9 in first, 3-second run in second place. She picks up $2,700. 103, Sam, on the average, puts her in fourth place right now.
And that was the impressiveness of the 1.9, because that was almost half as fast.
Oh, crazy.
As the 3.0, and the 3.0 was a great run.
Yeah.
So, it's a good thing that girl ran the 1 one night, and now the others are chasing her.
You bet. Pressure's on.
Yeah. See how it goes.
Absolutely. Very cool. Orly Madison from Crofton, Kentucky. She got to the pay window last night with a 3 and 4, and she split third and fourth in the round for $2,700. Puts her fifth in the average.
Yeah, she comes from a rodeo family. Her family has a rodeo company, and they get to do it quite a bit, and they are competitors. And the mother's here roping, and it's a family affair. They might not get to travel as much as other competitors because they have to do rodeos, but they make the most of it, and she will not back up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And keep on, Orly Madison. We need money back to the Bluegrass State. Bring it back to Kentucky. Sage Dunlap split that round with a 3 and 4. Bear Creek, North Carolina Cowgirl, first check of the weekend, 3 and 4, 2,700, puts her tied for fifth in the average with a 103.4.
Yeah, so the average is still really pretty wide open, but she tied with Miss Madison.
Orly, yep.
So it'll be, we'll see how she does tonight, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. And then finally, while she was out of the money, I thought we better talk about the average winner so far, the lead in the average. Kelsey Mabry, if you remember, she placed third. She split first and second in the first round. Remember, the loop went on, came off, went back on, 4 or 5 times. She was 3 and 6 last night, Sam. So couple that with her 3 flat. She's sitting number 1 in the average, 6 and 6 on 2 head, and that average pays $7,400.
And it's hers to lose. She can go out there and make 2 good solid runs, and it would be her to lose because she could run up behind them, track them, extra stride, and rope.
Yep.
And she may do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, it's and she is quick, and she's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yes.
And Kyla Matthews, she stopped by, Sam, and we had a great visit with her. So, folks, give a listen to this. All right, we are happy to welcome to our program today Miss Kyla Matthews. She won the round last night. To say she won the round is kind of an understatement. 1.9 ties the arena record. 1.9, blazing fast. Our reigning 2022 Cowgirl breakaway roper, Miss Kyla Matthews. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Did you have to get up and get rolling around, or was you already up with horses?
I got up about 7, and I had to go feed my horses and take care of them because they're pretty important.
So talk a little bit about that run last night, 1.9.
Well, I knew I had a good calf, and he was a little bit slower than my first calf because my first calf, he was pretty fast, and I got a leg on him, so I was thought I was out of the average, but then after last night, I was not at the average watching, and he was a really good calf, and I knew I needed to see a little bit, and I thought I might have left a little early, but it worked out, and so I'm better roping fast than tracking. So I'm
now. What does that mean for our listeners?
I feel like I just always have been a fast roper. Like, I'm better under pressure. I like when it's fast. I don't like to just go and rope one. You know,
How many? What's it called? How many times did you spin your rope, or what's that called for us? How many
swings did you
How
have?
many swings? Yeah,
there you go.
Probably 2.
2?
Yeah.
Is that pretty standard? That's fast.
Pretty fast.
Pretty
yes.
fast. And what's the score, or how far are these calves out before you can go?
Usually, like the fast ones, you can go when they go. The slower ones, like, you can see probably first thing. So, but they're getting slower. So some of them you're going to have to see probably year round. Probably.
So you have a game plan when you back in.
Yes, sir.
You know this calf. So step us through the game plan on this particular calf.
Well, my horse is like really fast leaving, and she's very strong. So I have to see a little bit more than most people. So my dad told me to make sure the calf was going, so I backed in there, made sure my horse was sitting good, and backed in there, and I heard somebody say, yeah, and I just threw a rope, and it went around his neck.
So tell us about your horse.
She is very special to me. She likes to buck, and she is actually 22 years old. You would
Okay.
never think that. She costs $2,200.
Senorita is her name.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
She's a brat. Like her way or no way. So she just does whatever she wants to. So, but she's very special to me. She's definitely helped me with my roping a lot.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
rode her since junior high, so she's
wow.
very special.
So and thinking about the purchase price, $2,200. That's
Yes,
right,
sir.
not a ton.
No.
How many dollars have you won off this horse?
Oh gosh,
yeah,
there is
yeah.
no telling.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
she has been very good to me. So
You we were talking a bit ago about the WCRA.
Yes, sir.
You went to North Carolina, and I show you won $3,250.
Yes, sir.
On Senorita.
yes, sir.
Okay, is that your only roping horse?
No, sir. I have 2 young ones at home, and then I have another sorrel he's really good. But me and Senorita we're just the match, I guess.
Must be alike. Does what she wants to do and has her own attitude, I guess. But I know the area where you live. It's
Yes,
just
sir.
beautiful.
Athens, right?
It's just
Athens.
beautiful there. But and I know some people from around there. A lot of rodeo contestants come
Yes, sir.
from there. What kind of background do you come from?
My dad roped. He's made the IFR several times. He calf ropes, and he made it team roping. And me and him made it together one year, which was very special. He's taught me everything I know. I couldn't have done it without him.
And I thought that's what was happening, but
Yes, sir.
I wanted to find out for sure. So
Yes, sir.
that's a bond that you can never take
Yes, sir.
away.
Yes.
You'll take it away to your grave.
Yes, sir.
But that's just wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Because what the parents put into this stuff, Lord help us.
Yes, I couldn't do it without my mom and dad. It would not be possible without them. So
In the timed events, I don't think you can. It's very tough to do it without a
Yes,
good
sir.
background,
Yes, sir.
people behind you pushing
Yes.
you along.
yes, sir.
So you said you got Senorita in junior high?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then went through high school rodeo on
Yes,
her?
sir.
And talk a little bit about your high school path. Yeah.
High school rodeo was not really my thing. I did better at the rodeos.
You did?
Yes, sir.
You did.
I was better at the rodeos. I did good my freshman year. I did really good. And then after that, I don't know. I just did better at the rodeos. So
Okay. And the WCRA, you're a fan?
yes, sir, I am. After going to Trine, it was pretty good. I didn't do like I should have done in the last round, but it happens. I won a pretty good bit of money, so I can't complain.
Okay. And you what's your plans for the year? You going to nominate a bunch?
I'm probably going to nominate probably the women's rodeo. I'm probably going to nominate it, and so
Now, what's that mean, women's rodeo?
it's something they do for the women's rodeo. I'm not like exactly sure, but they do. It's like for the women's and stuff, and it pays really good too.
Okay.
So
Okay.
So it's kind of like what they're doing for the kids.
yes, sir.
So
I think it's just for the women's.
That's part
right?
of the WCRA.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't know this.
I think that what they're doing is amazing because they're trying to build the young kids and get them involved in
Yes,
this
sir.
and work up through there. And a lot of times you stick where you start. Not everybody, but I think they're using their heads. And what I love about the WCRA is they're thinking outside the box. They're doing things that nobody even dreamed of in the rodeo business because we're all that mindset, old school. You're going to do this, you got to do that, got to have your boots on, your long sleeve shirt, that everyth's the same. But now it has changed with thinking outside the box, if you want to say that. But, thinking out of the rope can.
That's right.
And a 1.9, is that your fastest?
Actually, a 1.4 is my fastest.
Holy cow. How do you
Yes, sir.
do that? I mean, are you still behind the barrier when you throw?
The barrier was very short, and I did throw pretty fast, but yeah, it was.
That's incredible.
Yes, sir.
Is that a 2-swing catch?
I'm really
Or
not.
one?
I can't even. I think it was 1.5, maybe.
And for you folks that don't know, the barrier is the head start they give the calf. So
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
if it's shorter, you can be quicker. And here it's a pretty good size arena, so when you're Doug asked me, will anybody break the 2 second? I said, it's too big a pen to do that. But, well, good job, young lady.
You showed us.
Proved me wrong once again.
Absolutely. I love that. No, very exciting run. I mean, just cool. Separated yourself from the field very, very quickly. And to your point, I calculate you're in third in the average.
Yes, sir. I didn't expect that, but the first round didn't go as planned for most of them. It was kind of not how I expected it to be, which I'm fine with it. I'm back in the average.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. So 2 more to catch.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. And last year you won the average.
Yes, sir.
So why not, right? And go for the backup, go for another world championship.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who are you traveling with?
I travel with my dad mainly, and a girl that lives by my house, Morgan Larkin. She's been me and her are, I feel like it's hard in this time to find someone who wants to see you win like you want to see someone else win. That's definitely been hard for me. I've learned that a true friend wants to see you win.
Okay. And that is the mindset when we were talking to Kody,
Yes.
right? That is the mindset, and Sam talks about this a lot. The camaraderie, right, that you can build,
Yes.
and it's you against the animal. And a lot of folks don't know that. You're thinking, I've got to beat this other person. No, I've got to do the best I can.
Exactly.
Is that
Yes,
the
sir.
mindset when you back it in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what are you doing from the mental aspect of the game? How are you building that muscle?
I feel like I just try to stay positive, and if it's God's plan, it's God's plan. He already has it planned out, how it's going to end up. So.
Yeah. How quickly can you let a bad run go by?
I used to let it bother me, but as soon as I ride out of the pen, I just forget about it because it already happened. You can't change what happened. So, and like I said, God has a plan. He knows what's going to happen.
There
So
you
I just
go.
put it up with
I
him.
love it.
So
I love it. That's excellent.
And that was the hardest thing for me. I
Yes,
went
sir.
over in my mind and mind.
And then it
It's
messes
like
with you, so-
Yeah, and it's dumb.
Yes, sir.
As you mature, you think you can't change it. Did you learn from it? Well, take that away and forget
Right.
about
Yes,
it.
sir.
It's time.
Yes, sir.
Move on.
That's right. Move on.
I love it. I love
Yes,
what
sir.
you guys are doing. A blast to watch you rope.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're rooting for you. And
Thank you.
Let's win another world championship.
That's the plan.
All right. So BTC, riding for the brand?
Yes, sir.
No, you got
I gotta say, BTC riding for the brand.
Oh, very nice. Thank you, Kyla.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful to have you on this
Thank you for
morning.
having me.
You
I
bet.
appreciate it and make your dad proud.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, Kyla was here, an interesting young lady. Really seems to know how to take care of business, and her father travels around, takes her quite a few places, and he is probably laying the groundwork for a wonderful young lady to move on up in the world of breakaway roping. There's so many opportunities for these girls now, the WCRA and in the PRCA. It's just opening doors, and I think he's pushing her in the right direction.
Absolutely. And what a great, we just had a lot of fun talking with her as well. Anything else, Sam, before we say good day?
I think we're good, Doug. I'm just looking forward to tonight and seeing how it goes. And good luck, Colton. Good luck, Dalen. Good luck, Raymond. Eli, let's go. Time to win.
Absolutely, time to win. And we are tickled you guys are listening to this podcast, and share it with your friends if you're enjoying it, and let them know that they can find us on all the major podcasts. Search for Beyond the Chutes and give a listen. Let's follow, let's like, do all that sort of thing. We invite you to check out our Beyond the Chutes Facebook group page and our webpage, beyondthechutes.show. Thank you to ParaSight Systems for their support with our podcast. ParaSight System is a push-button parasitic diagnostic system for pasture animals, and especially for your highly competitive horses. And all the miles, Sam, that you put on these horses, the stress. Emily and Kyla both spoke of that.
And anything you can help, let's do it. 'Cause
Let's do it.
It's so competitive, and if you're buying feeds, you know how expensive it is. Why feed the parasites? Get rid of them.
Absolutely. So you can order your test kits at poop2proof.com. Sam, you got to say it. Say it.
Poop to proof. I would have forgot it again.
I know. Poop
Kind
to
of
proof.
something you want to block out of your
I
mind.
know, I understand. Hey, and we've got a coupon for 50% off your test kits, BTC 023 BTC. This is Beyond the Chutes with
Sam Swearingen.
Until next time, which will be tomorrow morning, this is Doug Simcox. Thank you for listening.